कविभिरीडितं कल्मषापहं श्रवणमङ्गलं श्रीमदाततं भुवि गृह्णन्ति ये भूरिदा जनाः. This gospel is a record of the conversation of Sri Ramakrishna, but not the complete thing, because wherever the teacher, the master Mahashaya used to go, used to attain, those portion only he used to note down. So though it is a very wonderful book, but it is not complete. We do not know how Sri Ramakrishna talked with his direct disciples, the monastic disciples afterwards, and he used to always, he had that wonderful sense that one should not feel that being a householder and the life of a householder is totally different from a monk. And those who like to become monk, their lives are totally different, their teachings are different. So Sri Ramakrishna used to talk with them in a different way, and the householder in a different way. He used to visit to different people, and there he used to invite others so that they can be there and listening, and also can become friendly, knowing each other. Here we know that in the last time we were reading, Sri Ramakrishna, he is talking with some devotees, and one he said, God is engaged in three activity: creation, preservation and destruction. So look at it, all the three activities are done by the God. This is, sometimes some people will be telling that this is the faith of religious faith only. The creation has other scientific explanations, whatever. If you feel that that is the way you like to think, you can think. But here, those who believe in God, they think God, as Sri Ramakrishna Bhagavan himself is telling, God is creating, is preserving, and at the same time he is also destroying. And then we find that he is telling this world is our field of activity. This is very important. The field of activity, the Hindus always believe the karma theory, and the karma theory comes along with the birth and rebirth, that circle of birth and death and rebirth, it goes on. And this, Sri Ramakrishna is giving the hint, this world is our field of activity. We are born here to perform certain duties. Certain duties. And different people have different type of duties. And the duties also according to the social condition, the duties are different. Now we will see that in a different way. Duty means we know what is it, our responsibility, and accordingly we have to perform. And that is the reason the Hindus, they made in such a wonderful way the four, as they call it, a caste system. And all the time people are putting their finger on Hindus, criticizing because of the caste system, Brahmin, then Vaishya, Shudra, Kshatriya, all this caste system. But everybody has this duty, everyone according to his capacity, they have their own duties in the society. Here, not in this particular page, but in somewhere, I have just given this reference over here. Mahimacharan, a very famous devotee of Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna, he is asking a very interesting question. One must have to come to this world to perform his duty. And in that duty, that is also in the human form, human body. And in the human body again, there are so many different varieties of birth, according to the karma, according to the mental attitude. And Mahimacharan asked Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna, what type of work, by performing what type of work one can realize God. Usually always we think that reading the scripture or sitting in the temple and going to the different pilgrimage center, and we consider them holy work and auspicious thing. So if we do that, we get the merit. Now the answer of Bhagavan himself, and he says, there is no specific type of work performing which one will realize God. Look at it. This is very important. Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna said that everyone has to come. This world is our field of activity, and every action has its result, and you have to either enjoy or suffer, whatever in that work is going on. Now, this is the place where one has to perform his duty once again, and the moment we are doing that, once again it is creating the result. Again we are either enjoying or suffering, and as we were discussing in our Sunday lecture and the Patanjali Yoga Darshan, the Patanjali Muni said that it's not that all the actions that we have taken result, if we cannot enjoy over here, is going to be nullified. No, is going to be carried. Every life it is going down and down and down with us. In this life, whatever possible we will enjoy, and then we will take the bag full of that and then carrying. So that there is no end of it. And Sri Ramakrishna said, hinting that you can complete this circle by working over here. Now Mahima Charan asking what type of work we should do, and he said no particular or specific type of work. Then what? This is the question. It has not been explained over here, but in other places we have seen Bhagavan Swami Vivekananda, Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna's the first disciple, principal disciple, whom he said, I am he. So that same Swami Vivekananda is telling, any work for the betterment of the others and performing unselfishly with any unselfish motive will give you the same liberation. And that is called, his wonderful book, over that he has said that karma yoga. That karma yoga, yat karoshi, yadasnasi, yat juhosi, dadasi yat tapassasi kaunteya, tat kurushya madarpanam. In the Bhagavad Gita, long back, Bhagavan Sri Krishna is mentioning, whatever, yat karoshi, whatever you are doing. Here or there also he is not mentioning this specific type of work. If you do, then only you give it to me. No, yat karoshi, yad ashnasi, yat juhosi, whatever you are taking and whatever you are performing, dadasi yat, when you are donating, when you are giving an alms, whatever you are doing, everything you give it to me. If you can do that, that's called unselfish work, and that is called dedicated work, and that is the only way to give us the liberation. It is not that constantly we have to see, we have to go and sit in before the temple image, So this is called Sri Ramakrishna and Swami Vivekananda. Once again, the Vedanta they are giving, what the Bhagavad Gita said, once again they are repeating, and in a modern way, different way. And Swami Vivekananda said, unselfish work. And then he said, those who need your help, they are also God, because from the God only everyone has been created. They are also God. And to make us impressed, he said, my gods, the poor, the illiterate, the downtrodden, the oppressed. So if we can go and help them who need it. Sometimes some people, they are suffering, they like to They don't need anything else. Only they like to unburden their heart. They like to come and tell you. And quietly, if you can listen to them, that's also a service. And some people who are not very much confident, when you are inspiring them, yes, this type of weaknesses you are having, but that doesn't matter. But you will surely get the success, the inspiration. That is what Swami Vivekananda said, self-confidence, self-confidence, self-confidence. That's also the work, and very good work. When we are denouncing somebody and making his mind weak, that's not a good work. So that's why we have to be always very, very discriminative, and Sri Ramakrishna giving us a wonderful assurance, and at the same time hinting how to realize God. And he said, there is a great power in the seed of God's name. The great power in the seed of God's name. That is called mantra. Manana trayate iti mantra. If you are accepting, receiving a mantra from a guru, and what you are doing, you are constantly, your guru will ask you to go on repeating that mantra. Mananat. What happens? Trayate. That small word, simple, not even a full sentence, just one or two words. Trayate. Only thing you need, faith. Faith in the words of Guru. Manana trayate iti mantra. There is a great power in the seed of God's name. It destroys ignorance. In the Bhagavan, he is giving ignorance. Now again, those who are attending or listening the Yoga Sutra that we discuss, what is ignorance? Avidya. In Sanskrit it is called avidya, wrong knowledge, or you can say false knowledge, avidya. Then asmita. Asmita is ego sense, raga, desire, desha, aversion, abhinivesha, fear of death. I am afraid of death. Why? Because I have some desire to be fulfilled over here. So abhinivesha. So these are the ignorance. I am eternal. Every moment I am there. Why do you think that I am not there? Why we are thinking? That's why Bhagavan Sri Krishna again in the Bhagavad Gita asking Arjuna in the second chapter itself, in the beginning of the Bhagavad Gita, if you think that you are killing, you are an ignorant. And those who think that they are dying, they are also ignorant. Nothing happens. What happens? Only changing the body. Just like the used garments we throw away and we put on new garments, so the soul will go and have a new garment. But this is the knowledge. It is not so easy. When we are listening or reading or talking, it is okay. But at the time of real, this is very, very difficult. So death is the fear. So what is that avidya? What is ignorance? That is false knowledge. What is that false knowledge? Whatever we see is changing, but we think it is permanent. That is the false knowledge. Oh, you know, I am here for 50 years. There is also only 50 years. And then everything will change again. Before all these people came from outside, some people used to live over here. Before them, some other. Like this it's going on. When these things will be changed, some else will come over here. So constantly changing, changing and changing. But still we think it is going to be permanent, and that is called false knowledge. Everything is changing. Every moment it is changing. Every day when we see our face in the mirror, it has been changed. But we think the same old person. That's all. This is called false knowledge. And then ego. The moment there is a false knowledge, we think we must get it, we must do that. So that is called the ego. And ego, as because I consciousness is there, so desire is there. I want this, I want that, so that is the desire. And then if I don't get it, or something which I don't like, if it is coming, aversion, dvesha. I don't like it. So raga and desha, and of course abhinivesha. These five are called avidya, ignorance. How this ignorance will go? In the Yoga Sutra we find so many processes the Patanjali Rishi is giving through these, but in the Gospel, in Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna said, only by repeating the name of God, but with faith. And also the discrimination. So when we are repeating the name of God lovingly, with faith, and also with the discrimination, then that only name, and then he said, see, a seed is tender. He is giving the example. A seed is tender, and the sprout also very soft, but still it pierces the hard ground. The ground breaks and makes the way for the sprout we see every day. The small tiny seed, so soft, is breaking the hard ground even and coming up. And similarly, he is giving the wonderful example, by repeating the name of God, the very hard mind changes. And we know Ratnakar. The Ratnakar, he was a very hard mind. He used to kill people. But afterwards, when he started taking the name of Sri Rama, slowly, only one seed, the name of God, the mantra, broke that mind, and he was transformed into a wonderful rishi. So this is called the example he gives, and always keeps your mind fixed on God. It says, keep your mind fixed on God. That is very important. One person, he was a monk, used to live in a town, and he had used to go to the king, and sometimes used to live in that palace also. Then one day the king told, you are a monk, you are not supposed to be here with us. How come that you are here? See how the discrimination. When the king was asking, how come that you are with us here? You should not be. He said, okay, let me see. After a few days he came to king and told, see, I calculated and I found that you are going to die within 7 days. I am sorry to tell, but it may happen. And king was worried, 7 days only? I have so much to do. 7 days only? Then after 7 days the monk came again, and he told that king, he was asking the king, how did you live in the 7 days? Enjoyed your life? Enjoying? The king was shouting, how can I? You told that within 7 days I am going to die, and how can I? So all the time the thought of death came so much, so strong way in my mind. I could not think anything else except the death. Then the monk told, similarly, I live in this world. I live in this palace. I live in this all luxurious life, but my mind is always at the feet of God. So when we are living this life, we can keep our mind at the feet of God. Ma Sharadamani Devi said, what is austerity, my children? Nothing but keeping the mind at the feet of God. How we can do that? Taking the name of Lord. Constantly repeating the name of the mantra, whether we understand it or not. So that's why Sri Ramakrishna is telling, this is very, very important. The mind becomes very distracted if one lives long in the midst of lust and gold. Therefore, one must be very careful. When constantly we are living in this worldly life without having any other company, then we think this is the normal life. Nothing like leather. Those who are working with the leather, then they'll say, oh, nothing like leather. So, and the smell of the leather and everything, they start liking. So that's why sometimes some people should go and see the roses, smell the roses, then only they will get the difference. And hence, Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna suggesting, have sadhu sangha, have satsanga. We have time for everything except having the sadhu sangha. The satsanga, that's why in one Hindi couplet it says, Doodh gali gali fire, sura baithe bikaye. The milk, to sell the milk, the milkman has to carry it and go to house. Will you please take? Will you please take? People are not ready to take. Milk is so good. But no, sura, the wine which is harmful, that is sitting in some corner, but people will find it out. Where it is, then they will go and in a queue they will purchase it. Why? Always the tendency to be in the worldly life. Why? Bad karma. Unfortunate, but that is the truth. And that is the reason one should go again and again to the holy company. And what is the holy company? Oh, in our place there is no holy company, someone was telling in some places in America. No monks come here, we do not get. It's not necessary. Holy company is the book. Every day, if we are reading 5 pages of a good book, like the Gospel of Sri Ramakrishna, we get all these instructions, and a wonderful way it has been presented. Those who have not yet read the Gospel must go through the book. Wonderful book. Excellent. And it gives the answer to everything connected with the spirituality. One must have stern determination, then alone spiritual practice possible. Those who like to have the spirituality must have, and that is why in our society they used to teach the dharma in the beginning of their life. At the time of brahmacharya, at the time of our students' life, they used to teach dharma, then artha, then kama, then moksha. Now it begins with the kama and ends with the kama. What to do? And the result is suffering, suffering and suffering. Who is suffering? The human souls. Why they are suffering? Because they are not looking at this thing which can give you the eternal peace. How much you have to do? Nothing. Maybe of 24 hours, only 24 minutes if you are spending on that, that is sufficient. Only 24 minutes. Keep a good book in your office drawer and sometimes take it out and read 1 or 2 pages. Just remember those words. Put some good music or discussion when you are driving the car. Sometimes people are driving for 3 hours, 4 hours. Listen to it. That is sufficient. Your mind is going over there. Wherever their mind, you are there. Physically you are not present, but your mind, your thought, that is going on. And nowadays in the present day society there are so many facilities. So these, we think we are so clever and we are earning a lot of money. We are doing this, we are doing that, cheating people, telling lies, and we are earning money and we are so happy, so happy. But are we really? No. Sa chaturi, chaturi. In Sanskrit it says, that is the real intellect. Intelligence is that which can help us to realize God. Sa chaturi is chaturi. And also we are suffering only. So Sri Ramakrishna said we must have to have the strong mind, and the Upanishad said, in the Veda it said, Nayamatma balahinena labhya. Balahina. The weak mind, it cannot realize God. The weak mind for all the time thinking this or that, and thinking today I will go to the temple. Then again a phone call came from the friend, oh yeah, there's a party, is it? Then again he forgets and goes over there in the party. Like that it on. Determination. I am going to do this. At least once in a month I must go to a holy place. I must stay there for few hours, read books, listen to the discourses, meditate, ponder, without any connections with anyone. That type of determination is necessary when we are doing it. At least once in a month, after my earning the money, the salary in the month, a little portion of it I am going to donate for the good cause. And once in a month at least I should practice austerity. Maybe that I won't eat that particular day, and constantly reading books, maybe chanting the name of the God for 1,000 times. Let us do that. That is the determination. In every religion you will find all these things. Recently the Muslim brothers and sisters, and they practiced their complete 1 month fasting. Why? The same reason. To develop a strong will. I am doing it for the God. Maybe that my body is suffering. Let it suffer. I will do it. The people will be walking long distances to visit the temple. But if they go just as a tourist and enjoying the scenario, no, that is a different thing. But if they are going with a zeal to realize God, get the blessings of God, and here we find that another thing is coming. Always keep your mind fixed on God, as Sri Ramakrishna said, and then we find another picture that has been drawn by the writer Sri Ma, the Master Mahashaya. He was the headmaster of a school. It was Sunday, April 15, 1883. Surendra, these are the names. Those who will be reading the biography of Sri Ramakrishna will come across again and again. They were the disciples and the followers of Sri Ramakrishna. A beloved lay disciple of the Master had invited him to his house on the auspicious occasion of the Annapurna Puja. So these are the things that we always do, and different devotees are inviting, we are also going, same thing, same tradition is going on. It was about 6 o'clock when Sri Ramakrishna arrived there with some of his devotees. The image of the Divine Mother had been installed in the worship hall. At her feet lay hibiscus flowers and billa leaves. This is the style of the Master Mahashaya, gives all the descriptions. The mostly in the Indian way, they never write like this. They will be directly going to the conversation or the things that is happening. Why he gives like this? Details description. It is 6 o'clock evening. The people are following Sri Ramakrishna. Some people are already there, and this is the image. At the feet of the image, we can meditate. Those who love Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna, those who like his philosophy, if they like, after reading only this paragraph, they can close their eyes and can transport their mind at that time in the company of Sri Ramakrishna. So this is the wonderful way. That's why he is giving all detailed descriptions. The some of the hibiscus and also the billa leaves. From her neck is hung a garland of flowers. Sri Ramakrishna entered the hall, bowed down before the image. Then he went to the open courtyard where he sat on a carpet. And then he is asking, all devotees are sitting over there. Immediately he picked up the conversation. You see, it is very difficult to give up vanity. Immediately he will pick up that. They were asking him to take a pillow so that he can sit comfortably. Immediately he said, why? Because in those days, the rich people, they used to sit in that fashion. The ordinary people are sitting like this, rich people used to sit in the halfway. So that was the fashion, it's the vanity only. Sri Ramakrishna said, you see, it is very difficult to give up vanity. Then one person, the Kedar, another devotee, immediately he quoted from the Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and he said, Trinadopi sunichena tayoriva sahishnuta. A devotee, who is a devotee? Again and again Sri Ramakrishna is telling, asking us, go to a devotee. And sometimes we will be writing also, he is a great devotee. But who is a devotee? Just because we go to a temple and we donate something and is a devotee? No. What is the quality of a devotee? Trinad api sunichena, lowlier than a straw, and the patience, like a tree. Tayoriva, taya means the tree, sahishnuta, very patient. So these are the things one must be very, having strong mind to bear everything. Tayoriva sahishnuta. So, but immediately the Master, Sri Ramakrishna, God himself, he said, as for me, I consider myself as a speck of the dust of the devotee's feet. Look at it. So humbleness. When after the war was over and the Panchama, they were organizing a huge function where they invited all the kings from around. Then the duties were allotted, and in those days it was the custom. Now it is also in the villages. If you go, they will ask you to stand in one place and they will wash your feet with water. But mostly, slowly, as things are changing, people are having their shoes. But in those days, dust was there, people used to do like that. And you will notice UP, Bihar and Madhya Pradesh, all these people, they never touch the feet like the Bengalis. The Bengalis, they will bow down and touch the feet because lot of water. So they used to wash their feet. So others could touch their feet also. But in the UPs and others, Punjab, a lot of dust. And if you are touching the feet, immediately you have to go somewhere to wash your hand. And you will notice that most of the UP and Punjab, they touch with the left hand, not with the right hand. Not that they are ignoring you, insulting you, because if they are using the right hand, they won't be able to eat afterwards. They need some water. Nowadays, water is plenty everywhere almost. All facilities are there. But the tradition we have to understand. Now, these are the things, slowly tradition comes down. When the function, all departments, all duties were allotted. But when the guest will come, somebody should be there to wash their feet. Who will do that? Nobody was agreeing. Panchama, they told, hey, we have defeated these people. They are all below us. Are you going to wash their feet? No, it is not. You cannot imagine the Bhim is sitting lowly and then washing the feet of somebody else. Rather, easy for him to break the leg. So for the Bhima. And you know who did it? Krishna himself. Why? No ego. And that's why he is God. Someone was asking, what is God? Who can be called as God? Can Sri Ramakrishna will be called as God? These are the points. He is actually egoless. That's why Sri Ramakrishna is telling, I am the speck. He told, Tayoriva sahisnuta trinadapi sunichena. You must be humble, just like a blade of grass. He said, I am the speck of the dust of the feet of devotee, not of God, the devotee. Swami Vivekananda told, he declared, I am the servant of that person who has taken the name of God. Those who are very good people taking the name of God, helping others, they are so wonderful people. I can be a servant to him. That's the humbleness. Unless you are humble, you cannot. So then afterwards, one person is entering Vaidyanath, and then we find a wonderful conversation is going on. Vaidyanath, he is coming here, he is a well-educated man, a lawyer of the High Court of Calcutta. With folded hands, he saluted the master and took his seat at one end. And Surendra, because Surendra's house Ramakrishna was visiting, he introduced Master, he is one of my relatives. Master was happy seeing that person. See, the different type of people are there. Some people, when they are going to God, God also become happy because of the behavior, their tendencies. And some people are so egoistic, they will come over here and looking here and they are not looking at the God. Then why you have entered? If you don't like to see, don't enter. But after coming over, suppose someone comes into your house and enter your home where you are sitting, and ignoring you sitting over there, he appreciates this and that, how you will feel? So similarly, the same thing, the God, Sri Ramakrishna liked this person, though he was a lawyer, educated person, he came with a very humble way, and Master, yes, I see, he has a nice nature. Look at it, blessings automatically. Why the juniors should go and touch the feet of the seniors? Why we have been taught like that? The teachers, nowadays most of the students, as because they are, I don't know, not properly, they are thinking is a modern way, insulting the professors, the teachers, criticizing them. And teachers have also forgotten what is their role in the society. They are also thinking this is a job, I go and I teach and I earn money, that's all. No. This is a wonderful relation, Guru Shishya. And he is removing the ignorance, removing the darkness from the eyes of the student. So wonderful thing, that is called morality, and that is called religion. And when that is not there, people will be educated, they will get the certificate, they will be very highly intelligent, they will be able to be successful in the world, but according to our standard, we cannot call them as human beings, because that things are absent. That is the Indian culture. Sometimes we talk about the Indian culture. What is the Indian culture? These humbleness. You are capable and you are confident, but you are not egoistic and you are humble. So that Sri Ramakrishna. And then Surendra, he has come here because he wants to ask you a question or two. So whenever the holy people they go, people will be asking some question. The master to that young man, Vaidyanath, all that you see in the is the manifestation of God's power. Before he asks any question, immediately Sri Ramakrishna is telling him, all that you see is a manifestation of God's power. No one can do anything without his power. See, how could he know what question he is going to ask? And when you come to his question, you will understand why Sri Ramakrishna has already made a ground to give the answer to him. No one can do anything without this power, power of God. We think we are doing this, we are doing that, we are intelligent, we are not intelligent, but no, it is all God's. And then, but you must remember that there is not an equal manifestation of God's power in all things. Sometimes we make the mistake, it is not. Vidyasagar once asked me whether God endowed some with greater power than others. I said to him, if there are no greater and lesser manifestations of his power, then why have we taken the trouble to visit you? Vidyasagar was a very famous person. He got the title Vidyasagar, the ocean of learning. He was Ishwar Chandra, his name was Ishwar Chandra. And he was a very poor, they say in his biography, he was a very poor person and he used to study and slowly he became a prominent personality. In those days, he had a very soft, kind-hearted mind. He used to help people so many ways. So Sri Ramakrishna went there to see him. When the Vidyasagar asked whether the God has given special power to someone, the argument Sri Ramakrishna said, then why we have come to you? Have you grown two horns? This he is referring to other devotees. So it stands to reason that God exists in all beings as the all-pervasive power. In Sanskrit it is called Bhuma. Bhuma means all-pervasiveness, but not with form, without form. How? As Chaitanya, as consciousness. Everything is having the consciousness, and sometimes some people are having the expression of consciousness like the human being, but sometimes others are not, cannot express that. So this is called all-pervasive power, but the manifestations of his power are different in different beings. Why? It's just an example it gives. When a sun ray is coming and reflecting on the glasses, it reflects. But suppose that one glass is tinted or covered with dust, reflection will be less. But if the glass is just like a mirror, reflection will be more. Sun is giving the light, reflection coming on that, but the reflection are not same. Similarly, in the human mind also, the human being also, some they are reflecting in such a nice way. They are great people, and we go and bow down before them. The Buddha, the Chaitanya, the Jesus, Sri Ramakrishna, and so many are there. The Mahavir. So all these are there. Why? Because they are just like the mirror, the God's reflection are much more. So we also, having the same capacity but not fully manifested, we go and bow down to those people. That Sri Ramakrishna is giving the hint. That man is asking, sir, I have a doubt. People speak of free will. They say that a man can do either good or evil according to his will. Is it true? Are we really free to do whatever we like? It's a very important question. And particularly in the Western world, is the free will. I am a free person and a free country, so I can do anything I like. What is this freeness? Again, Sri Ramakrishna is giving the answer. Everything depends on the will of God. The world is His play. He has created all these different things, great and small, strong and weak, good and bad, virtuous and vicious. This is all His Maya, His sport. So that no one can do anything actually. It is all written that this will happen, that will happen. We never thought that these will happen in our lives. So many things we are doing. Our relatives, our brothers and our friends, so all of them, we all grew up together, but what happened? Afterwards we find that actually things are changing, something is changing, and we are traveling in a different way. With those people with whom actually we grew up, they are nowhere. And then the other people whom we never knew, they are all around. Why all these things are happening? Did we plan like this? None of us. So that is why when the Sri Ramakrishna is telling that, see, this is, the world is His play. He has created all these different things. And this is difficult for us to understand and to believe, but at the same time, this is the truth. This is his Maya. This is one word he used. And we are not going to explain about the Maya over here. Many times in many different occasions, this word come and then we explain. And here we will go along with Sri Ramakrishna as he says, as long as a man has not realized God, he thinks he is free. It is God himself who keeps this error in man. I am free, I can do all these things. This is ego, I. It's God who has kept it. But when the realization comes, it is he, it is thou, it is thou, it is thou. When Swami, it is not the question of ignorance, just for our teaching, our learning. Swami Vivekananda is a personality of the self-confident person. And he used to tell that we are doing it. Everything, he was a Vedantin. But at the same time, afterwards, he said, I have done nothing. When he went back to India, particularly to his own place, the Calcutta, when people were shouting and giving the glory to Vivekananda, then he said, no, don't say like that. I have done nothing. Actually, it is God who did through me. This is the realization. So we think that we are doing wrong. And this wrong, this conception, this ego, this error has been kept by God himself. And when the God, by his grace, removes that, then only we can understand. But do you know the attitude of one who has realized God? He feels, I am the machine and thou, O Lord, art the operator. I am the house and thou art the indweller. I am the chariot and thou art the driver. I move as thou movest me. I speak as thou makest me speak. This is a wonderful prayer. Every day one should pray like this. Please hold my hand, and so that every time, every moment, I can only think about you, do your work, and speak whatever I speak, your words. So that is the prayer. And that way, a human life slowly becomes so wonderful and they become successful. Yes, sir, the desire to argue disappears when a man attains wisdom. This Vishwanath he is telling. Vaidyanatha, his name is Vaidyanatha. When he said like that, Master was very happy. And then the Master Mahashaya, the writer, he is jokingly, nicely he is mentioning, the Master, out of his stock of dozen English words, said, thank you, in the most charming way, and all laughed. So he was never attended any school, and in those days, English was not so prominent. Only educated people who used to go to the colleges, they used to learn Sri Ramakrishna. But he knew some of the words, and that was thank you. So the moment this Vaidyanatha said that, Sri Ramakrishna was very happy because he has understood. And not only Sri Ramakrishna could read the mind, so he really understood the Vaidyanatha, whatever he is telling is from the core of his heart. And what is that? The desire to argue disappears when a man attains wisdom. That is the wonderful way all this conversation goes. In the next, we find that Sri Ramakrishna, looking at this Vaidyanatha, this young man, he said, you will make spiritual progress. The God himself giving the certificate to that person. You will make spiritual progress. Why? Humbleness and at the same time clear idea. discrimination. You will make spiritual progress. Now, in the next, we will see that the group of Kirtan party has come, the singers. They will be singing the song. And in our next class, we will read this portion and discuss. Thank you for coming. Let us conclude with this offering our pranam to Sri Ramakrishna. Niranjanam nityam anantarupam bhaktanukampa dhrita vigraham vai Ishavataram Parameshamidyam Tam Ramakrishnam Shirasa Namamaha. Om Shanti 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 Hari Om Tat Sat. Sri Ramakrishna Arpanamastu.